Hey friends, hi, welcome to Jason Unleashed. How's it going? I'm your host, Jason Carter. Thank you for joining me today. Happy Thursday. It's good to be here with you guys, and I am really excited for today's show. Well, I'm excited for every show because I have some really cool guests, but today's guest is someone that you know and love, America. She captured our hearts in season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race, captured our hearts again on season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race Allstars, and now recently she captured our hearts even again in Secret Celebrity Drag Race. I am talking about the one, the only, Monique Heart. She's going to be on the show today. I know you guys are so excited. All the DMs I've got have been like, I cannot wait to talk to her. So she's going to be on in just a few. You guys know the drill. Questions, anything you want to comment below, do that, and we'll try to get to them as soon as we can. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching and just showing love to Jason Unleashed every single day. Really means a lot. Hi, Sil. It's good to see you. So let's see. Monique says she's new to the whole Instagram live thing. So it may be a minute before she comes in, but let me see if she's already said hello in the chat because it does move pretty fast. Boom, boom, boom. No, not yet. But not yet. Where's she at? Where's she at? Hey, Richard. I'll wave back. Kai, hey. Let's see. I'm waving to everyone. So when this is on YouTube, you wonder what I'm doing? I'm waving back at people. Yay! All right, wave. There's a lot of waving going on here, you guys. Boom. Let's bring in Monique. Going live with Monique Heart. Hey!
Hello. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited to be here with you, Jason. You know you're always
Same.
my favorite. So
Oh,
let
same.
me sing your
Ditto.
praises. Let me sing your praises real quick. Can you hear me
Okay,
real
go.
quick? Is there a
Yes, I can hear
delay?
you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sing my praises.
Okay. So season 10 of Drag Race, I believe it was the rehearsal the day of with Alyssa.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And nervous as all get out, just being in the show is just crazy, right? And then I just see you backstage. Jason's doing all of this Britney Spears choreography, girl. And he reminded me of my friend Brian Woods, who is a dear friend of mine. And I was just like, I just felt at home and I felt like okay. And it was just so good. And like, honey, I slayed that competition, even though Ross did try to shade me, but
Well,
I slayed. We know the fact.
we lived over there, but thank you so much for being on
Thank
Jason Unleashed, and thank you for celebrating that. I remember that vividly because you looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And
you.
but Monique, what was interesting about that whole experience was because when I first walked into the workroom for the first episode and I saw you, and you were so quiet and you were so like in the zone, and I told production, I was like, watch out for her. The silent ones are deadly, and look what happened.
Hallelujah, right?
Yes, good to have you here. How are things going?
Thank you.
How's quarantine been for you?
Quarantine has been a journey. I'm not crazy. I did shave my eyebrows off, not because I've gone mad, but just because I've just decided to stop gluing them down
You
so I
had
can start doing more
you
things.
had a Britney Spears eyebrow moment.
Yeah, girl, I said, just do it. Quarantine, the isolation part, being at home alone is not a problem. I'm the only child. I can do that all day. But the fact that you can't go anywhere is the problem. So thank God I have this little beautiful balcony. Praise God. And I said, well, if people can walk their dogs, I can at least walk my imaginary one. So that's what I've been doing, walking my imaginary dog, with my little face mask on, taking in that sun so we can, kill off the corona. But, really not that bad. Praise God.
I love it. Well, I actually walk a real dog daily, so I feel you on getting out and being one with nature. Let's just can we talk about House of Heart? June 9th, right? You have all these amazing drag superstars in the house on Twitch. It's going to be incredible. Let the people know.
Okay, so let me just let you know why I decided to do it. So May 22nd, I turned 24.
Happy birthday.
Excuse me, 34. Oh my gosh, what am I talking about? 24. Wouldn't that be a match? Oh, wonderful. No. So I turned 34, and in this quarantine, I will tell you that we've had a lot of time to do a lot of thinking, correct?
Absolutely.
And with this time, I've had time to process my own like inner, battles or whatever. And then one thing I've went back to is, Kevin, I want you to own something. You have to own something. And, I have all of these grand ideas, but no money to do so. And I said, you know what? Let's start here.
Hmm.
Let's work in the lane that we're doing already, and let's produce something quality, right?
Right.
And so I said, well, boom, drag. Okay, good. I know drag. And I know fabulous entertainers. And I said, you know what? I've been around the world and
Yeah,
not
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
And I've met some fabulous entertainers as well. And I said, well, let's bring them into the party. So it's June 9th on Twitch. You come in, there's a little small suggested tip donation, which will be dispersed amongst the girls just to kind of help them out. But I just said, you know what? This is the time of like, almost a renaissance. Like there's so much creativity that's happening. And the crazy thing is that all of these resources truthfully have been in our back pockets,
Yeah.
to really just, you've had your phone, you got a wall, honey. Can, if you have a projector, use it. Do you have some cool lights? Use it. If you're in quarantine with a brother, sister, lover, hit me at this angle, girl, hit me at this,
Uh-huh.
and it's really just allowing entertainers to create. It's so funny. I was telling one of my friends, I said, girl, the quarantine videos are going to be a part of the Drag Race, like
Oh,
audition tape.
for sure.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Because you're not an aborcist. So there'll be
But
that.
you make a great point about a renaissance. I mean, look what we're doing now. This is a renaissance
There
for
you
me,
go.
connecting with you and talking about quarantine because this is what we've
Yeah.
been reduced to, but there's a silver lining
Yeah.
to that. So, okay, June 9th on Twitch, small donations. What's cool about that too, Mo, is that drag queens are so resilient. People were,
Hmm.
a lot of drag queens have been going live and having, makeup tutorials, get ready with me's, and they have
Hmm.
their Venmo, their Cash App, and other
Hmm.
payment services in the comments, which is smart because it's the same thing as tipping a drag queen at the bar. Why not tip
Very
them here?
true.
And
Very true.
you're getting a
A
more
more intimate.
right experience. 100%, 100%. You are busy though. You've been busy. Can we talk about just you on Drag Race because I feel like America wants more. We want more brown cow stunning. We want more everything, Monique Heart. And in season 10, like I said, you were the breakout star for sure.
Thank
For
you. Thank
sure, the
you.
breakout star. And I can say that because I was there. Okay, people always want to question my validity. Hello, people. I was there.
Thank you. That's
Also,
fair.
coming back for Allstars 4 and then now on Secret Celebrity Drag Race, your world has changed. How so?
Don't cry. I just went through this whole thing the other day of looking at my life on the exit of coming out
I
of
saw
Christian
it. I saw it. It
community
was
and
powerful.
the exit of ex-gay, and then coming into my truth, and then me coming into my truth, and then the Father saying, "Now you're in a place to actually fulfill the dream." It's been such an amazing journey to look. I mean, we've grown up with RuPaul,
Right.
honey. Like back on when, I mean, before, like on AOL dial-up, honey, honey, and just would sit there online and look at photos of him and just be so like,
In awe. Right.
what? You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's just like, what? And then you go, I remember I was still like heavy in Christian community, and they had season one. And season one made the news. It was like, wait a minute, RuPaul, we know him, but now he has a television show. Like, what's going on? And then to be on the 10th season, it was just such like, oh my gosh. And then to be asked to go back, and I said, okay, honey, talent was never my issue, but the money was. So this time, money was not the issue, and I showed out. And I believe because I showed out, it's just really opened doors for me to do so many other things. RuPaul fought for me to be a part of AJ and the Queen when my schedule was like, sis, I cannot. Honey, she made sure that them coins were right.
Hmm.
Mother even made sure that I had they had to drive me. I had a personal chauffeur from Vegas to back to LA so I could make the call time. Like RuPaul, I said, this woman, oh, Jesus. And then to go back and to work on Celebrity Drag Race, which is once again just to go back and there's no trauma,
Yeah.
except for the PTSD that's already there. And just to once again show your art and to really show the world like growth and transformation. And that is the beauty of being an artist. We've seen such artists as Beyonce from, she was on A Star is Born, not A Star is Born, but what's that little,
Star Search.
thank you, to all the way to now to working with Lion King. You're like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see once again that as not only just as artists, but as people, there's always a change, a metamorphosis. And I feel like, the world has got to see me transform into the artist that has always been there, but that needed time and resources and new experiences to help cultivate that.
100%. And I want to say what's up to everyone in the comments. They're celebrating it right now. But
Hi.
you've had this evolution, Monique, in a way that hasn't been drama filled, that hasn't been fueled by all these just negative experiences. I think, I was watching you on Hey Queen, and people talking about RuPaul, people think one way about RuPaul. Of course, we know him differently. He comes to work. We're there to do a job. We're there to make great television. We can have mimosas and cocktails afterwards. And I think for yourself, you sharing that same kind of ethic has resonated. I think that's why people on the show and RuPaul have attached to you so effusively because of that kind of ethic.
I will say this. I think a lot of people come to show business not understanding that first it is a business. And when you show up to the show, you better be ready to conduct business.
Mm-hmm.
And you want and for me, I'm not gonna lie, I was very disheartened because you want these like whoa 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 moments, but honey, this is not season one. This is not even season 5, girl. This is like a business, and I have things to do because
Mm-hmm.
mother is always letting us know that, honey, while you have one job, that's the best time to get another one.
Right.
And she's always doing multiple gigs, and so it's not this whole thing of, oh my love, I can't do this to every single one. We're here to work, and
Mm-hmm.
then after we have got things worked, I see how you work behind the scenes because she's always watching,
Always.
and then from how you work when you think she's not watching, I think different doors begin to open up. And so for me, also understanding that as a Black male in America, you have to move differently,
Mm-hmm.
and the fandom loves drama. I mean, it's just reality TV. We love the mess, honey. Give it to me, right? And it's great in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
However, there can be long-term ramifications and effects. Also, knowing that what our white or lighter counterparts will be able to get away with, honey, they will come and drag you for the back row. And I have no time to do that specifically in the industry that is very fickle. And I take care of my mother.
Yeah.
And if I'm in drama and, some bartender goes, oh, I can't have you, in my establishment because of this, and then I moved out of the bar scene, not because of any issue, but just because I wanted to, in cases of corona, I would still be able to work. So I moved to the college scene. With colleges and university, honey, if you are scandalized by
Right.
drama, honey, they're not bringing that
It's
to
a
their
wrap.
university. It's a wrap.
It is.
Because the donors give them coin,
Mm-hmm.
and they pay the drag queens coin. And if I'm paying you, I'm not paying you for the scandal, honey. You know what I mean? And so I just think that you just have to conduct yourself. My mother said this, and the Bible says this always, honey, it's better to have a good name than rich fortune. If all you have at the end of the day is your name and how people know you. And I will say this just in closing, I went to when they called me back for Celebrity Drag Race, one of the producers came up to me and she said, I just want to let you know that we see you and we say thank you for always being ready when we say it's time to go. And when you go, oh, I was just doing what I'm supposed to do, honey. But the fact that in our industry, it can be a little tra la 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 la. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's thank you, and the thank you is what gets you booked again. I mean, honey, if you're gonna get one check, get them all.
Get them all. Get them all. faith is so important to you. And, every week you have your devotionals on Instagram, on IGTV. The reception has been really big. And I think that people are, because now we're at a time where you can't go to a place of worship. So where are they going? They're going to Monique Heart to find that place of worship, right? What made you want to do that? What made you want to merge the two worlds? Because that's something
Um,
that you're very passionate about.
it's for a lot of my friends say, "How did you merge the two worlds?" And I go, "I don't think I merged two worlds. I just think I just chose to be my most authentic self. Like from a child until I think I came out, I was before the Lord. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it wasn't. I know that religion is real. You know what I mean? In the sense of bondage. So let me say that again. I know that religion is real bondage. Okay.
Hmm.
I know that it brings harm and pain and all types of foolishness. Right. I feel like though I was in a traditional organized religion system, that there was something very different about my experience. There was something very different about my upbringing. There was something about my mom, the way that my mom communicated in prayer with the Lord and what I saw her live and how I saw her live that out. Um, that was very different for me. So even leaving Christian community, there were so many straight people that I worked with and whatnot that are like bitter and offended, and I go, that's not my you know what I mean? So I go, there's something in me that's just different. And my mother she used to tell me this all the time. She goes, the Lord set you apart. She goes, that's why he marked your forehead. She goes, you are literally set apart. You are called for something different. And like I said in my video, God knows his kids. He
Hmm.
knows us. Like Psalms 139 says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I go, you're not going to tell me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, and then also tell me that I'm damned. No, ma'am, Pam. So, what I go, wait a minute. I remember this experience, and this is what shifted my perspective that allowed me to go, okay, you can do this. I was in the gym when I first came out, and I was working out, and there was this real attractive man there. And I mean, girl, he was body down. And my first response was like, "Oh, just just that fleshly, ooh, la da 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 da." And then you take the one look, and then it was the second look, and I'm really like, "Oh, girl, I would dot dot dot." And I heard like the father speak to me clear as day, and he was like, "Why are you objectifying him?" And I was like, "Oh," and it was such a way that when how your dad can speak to you, Jason, you go, got the
Right.
point. And it
Received.
was like received, and it was in this moment of, he said, why are you objectifying him? He goes, if he were a girl, I would tell you to honor her the same way. So you have to honor him. So then in that moment, it was like, there isn't like no difference. Like, he's my father, he's his father. If he wants me to be honored, he wants him to be
Right.
honored. If that was his daughter, it was the same. So there was like no difference between the straight and the gay. And so for me, it just really allowed me to go, wait a minute, darkness is real. Darkness doesn't want me to run to the Father. Darkness wants me to believe lies and accusations. My father loves me. I'm just going to be me. And so I said, I know I'm not the only one who has struggled in that place. And I feel like I have some levels of freedom. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm like, you know what? We have our days, okay? But I feel like I have a peace and a comfort that surpasses anything. And if I can impart that and give that in exchange to so many of us who are living in constant turmoil and trauma, that never gets to have voice or light be brought to it. The father sees that and wants to speak to those kids, and those kids won't go to a church, but they will go to a drag show. And just once again, seeing like the father is always with us. Like they love to tell the story like Jesus was, with the prostitutes and the tax collectors. Well, honey, he's at the drag show too, honey.
True.
Like when I had this one moment with the Lord in prayer where I was just like, like we think about the ballroom culture and voguing and everything in this unique style of dance and expression. And I was just like, he gave that to us. Like that is him. Like when we think of our eye and our uniqueness for detail and how exquisite and how fabulous we want things as queer people. And then we step back and we go outside and we look at creation and go, shut up. Yes, you did. And then we go back in the house and look in the mirror and we go, oh, yes, you did. Oh, I believe that sovereign flair, darling, that we all have comes from the Father. So I just feel like it's in that place of just really aligning yourself with truth, aligning yourself with the Father. You're going to be your most authentic self. So if you got sugar in your tank, well, it's there. And if you don't, well, maybe add some. And if you don't want it, fine. Okay. We all can walk to the throne together. Boom.
Boom, boom. And now you travel all around the world and you not only, yes, you perform as Monique Heart, but in those appearances, in those moments, in those spaces, you're also preaching the gospel and telling people that they're loved as well. I mean, that has to be powerful.
It's so powerful. It's so freeing because it's once again, you would never think that a queer individual would speak so passionately about someone and something and I do not tie myself to, as a Christian. I don't preach that. I don't say that I'm a Christian. I just say I'm a believer, one, of the story before it was canonized. That's how I say it. King James was a little corrupt. And we know that men love power and men love darkness, period. So I just go, I'm a believer of the story and I know there's truth there. And once again, I think the fact that it's coming from a queer individual, specifically a Black queen, because we know that, not to say that it is not hard across the board,
Hmm.
but anywhere where brown people are, honey, they are not having it to the fullest. And so it is so ingrained in us as children and specifically as Black men. So I think to have it come from that combination with love and peace and saying, hey, he really does delight in you. There's nothing but freedom. And that's all I really want for people's hearts.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's beautiful, Mo. That's awesome. That's incredible. You said these juxtaposing themes of light and dark. And let's talk about the fandom of Drag Race because we're seeing light and dark in regards to racism and a whole myriad of different problematic instances with a fandom that's part of a show that highlights inclusivity, that highlights the beauty of the LGBTQ plus community, that highlights individuality, that highlights all these wonderful things, authenticity that are at their core amazing, but yet it's not really reaching those
The
people
same.
the same. So
Yeah.
like how do you manage that? Because I'm sure yourself have had I can't even talk have had someone slide in the DMs and say some hateful shit. How do you what's the state of the culture?
It's so weird because I've had people not only slide in the DMs, the comment section, I've had promoters, honey. Which is a lot of reason why I don't like to work the bar scene. Because promoters are, and this has happened to me, and I'm not surprised that this has happened, but promoters will say, we had so and so, a big white, one of the whiter drag queens, not whiter, but white drag queens who come and they're like, we had such a bigger following. Well, duh. Uh, you know what I mean? Honey, you knew that in the numbers game. Like, you know what I mean? Let's not play. So it's very real and weird. I will say drag for me, I had a season where I was awakened to the fact of being a Black man in America when I was 29. And then I went on Drag Race at 31. And then having the reality of what is really in people's hearts, trash. So this is what I say. I say, too often we're trying to always compare and we're always trying to like have a seat at the table.
Hmm.
I believe that the reason that it is very hard for I'm going to say it this way. I think it's harder for white audiences to see Blackness the same way because it is not held in the same regard, because outside of RuPaul, everything else is white.
Hmm.
Everything else is owned by white, should I say. You know what I mean? Outside of the fan, and we know that white fans love everything Black. We are the needle in the thread to the culture. If it's hot, it came from us. Just
Hmm.
own it. Sorry, sis. They stole it. They had more money, and so you believe the lie. Whatever. But I feel that in more ownership and more of us having our own things, our own like if we had not another RuPaul, but here you're a Black queer uh gay journalist, host, you're doing your we need more of that so that way it can be seen just the same, but not only just produced by them, but it's produced and owned by us. So then we
Right.
really have the keys. And so I feel like that's one way. As far as I am done, to be perfectly honest. I did some moves and I just saw that it just was not received according to my white counterparts. And I
Hmm.
just, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Right.
I just refuse to try to, one, invest and pay all of this money to gain your attention when you won't even.
Right. Well, I mean, but look, think about it like this. So and that's you make great points there about we have to own in its entirety the product we're putting out there. I mean, look at Tyler Perry, Oprah. There's these people who
You
have
just have to own it and put it out there so it really can get to the masses. Because if you are waiting for someone who is white to put you on blast like that, sis, they don't value. And it's no shade. It's
right,
a numbers game.
right,
It really is a numbers game.
right.
And so if the numbers are predominantly white, sis, then sis, I'm going to shoot over there. Though we will steal from you and take all the oohs and the ahs and the inspiration and the looks, sis, we're going to put it over here because the masses are going to buy it up. So the way to switch that is Oprah took ownership, Tyler Perry took ownership, RuPaul took ownership. So I mean, until then, if you wanted something to do in the interim, I would go start supporting Black queens, start
Hmm.
supporting Black businesses. Like there's no more. The reality is racism is no longer a conversation that we as Black people need to have with white people.
Right.
That's their issue. That's their if you choose not to if you want to be uneducated about what is going on in the world, if you choose to really choose not to see it, since you can walk to the grocery store, walk to Walmart. I mean, you can be on an airplane. Honey, I fly first class, and they
Hmm.
still talk to me second, whether I'm in the first seat or the second one.
Right.
I can be, whether I'm in the aisle seat or the window seat, says you still talk to him first. So, and I'm in first class. And this ain't, oh, I just got bumped up. No, 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 no.
Hmm.
We paid for the ticket. No, I didn't pay for the promoter paid for it because I'm not going to waste my money. But hello. But the point is, it's blatantly in your face. You see it in the grocery store. You when you clench up, when you see that's showing you something right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the simple fact that Black people have anti-Blackness in ourselves, where we are having to constantly remove the BS of Eurocentric standards and beauty and mindsets and feeling if we don't achieve this, then we are not in ourselves. I just feel like it's no longer our conversation to say in a nutshell. And I think that everyone just needs to do a better job at recognizing, you know what, she's not going to look super polished because she does not have those resources,
Hmm.
So I would, I just feel like that's just, you can't look at, prime example, I will call it out. I love them. They did a great job. Some article came out about Violet Trotsky and Aquaria, and how they had did such an amazing job in the virtual show, which they did. Let us also remember that these are boss entertainers who have budgets, you know what I mean? So when everyone else is in their house
Hmm.
recording, a little, and you have a budget to then, well, wherever you are, fly yourself out, pay a camera crew, lights and production, sound techs, engineers, and all. Honey, that is a team. So of course they're going to be able to do so much more, honey,
Right.
when you have all of
When you have a machine that's making it happen for you. Case in point, pop stars. There's a big reason why some are bigger than others because they have a machine that churns it out to make sure they look their best. There is unlimited buckets of resources. So I mean, yeah, 100%.
and it's no disrespect to the artist. It's just, honey, they have a machine, and so you just have to go, boom. Now, how do I take my art that doesn't have a machine behind it and make it just as high and make it more visual? What I have to work harder. This is not something that people of color, specifically Black people, are not. Honey, you can put us in the jungle with one knife, and by the end of the day, you're going to come back and, honey, we're going to have a full working civilization, honey,
Hmm.
because it's just who we are. So we are constant creators, and sad fact, they are constant stealers. So we constantly keep creating, and we just will keep creating and being resilient. It sucks because you're like, I don't want to be resilient anymore. I want my art to be respected. But if I am this, okay, I'm going to say this, and I have a question.
Hmm.
I have been thinking about what it is to be Black and queer and what that expression looks like. And I was watching Pose, and Pray Tell says to the character, I don't remember that little boy's name, but he says, we didn't have movies in this, we had culture. And then I think, who were the forefathers in the culture outside of James Baldwin? That's the only one I know that was a queer individual that really, you know what I mean, that we can look to as forefathers, that we can look and say, this is what blackness and queerness looks like, because all of everything we've ever known has always come from them. So then once again, truthfully, it comes from us, but it's glamorized on television, and it looks like it came from them. So if it's always like, well, they have, and this is their art and their expressions, what does our expressions look like?
Yeah.
If it's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then I think, once again, we have to create and somehow find a way, either linking up with like-minded people. You know, you have the money, I have the art, where we will have to team up together. You know what I mean? We need 4 sponsors, where we're going to all sign this contract, you know, with a witness, so that way, you know, each thing
Mm-hmm.
is dispersed, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and we move accordingly and we move forward. Because the reality is, once again, if you are waiting for someone to do it, sis, we know life ain't fair. And if you think, oh, I'm pretty and I'm talented,
Right. Yep.
they ain't selling it.
They ain't selling it. Want to say what's up to everyone in the comments.
Hey,
People are
y'all.
like, they don't see us. We see you guys. Arnie Fu,
We see
he's a huge
ya.
fan. He says hello. You everything you're saying is true about resources and wanting your art being respected and just wanting yourself to be respected. A couple days ago, Fifi O'Hara, Jeremy Carey, said this year he's done with drag. And done and done performing in bars, done with that whole scene. We'll do larger tours, we'll do bigger venues, but not going to have that more intimate, that more readily available setting. When does a person in the drag community finally make those decisions? And for yourself, would you ever stop being Monique Heart because of giving away your art form and it not being received, it not being celebrated, it not being respected the way it should be? Have you thought about that as well?
I'm not gonna lie, honey. The break of the quarantine, I was like, I'm done. This is, you know, this is foolish. What am I doing? You know, really looking at everything and going, what the hell have I done? Sorry, what have I done? I'm going, I have to take care of my mom, and I've invested into my career, into my music, thinking that, you know, if I invest in this, this will, you know, this will get me going. This will get me, you know, the drag race fandom, and they will see, and then, you know, maybe mainstream society will catch on, and then we can do something like, honey, I'm talented, let's go. Um, and then it not, and then you're in the midst of corona and you're like, what's the point? Because I go,
Yeah.
what my skill set is, I mean, both of my skill sets, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. No one's really good, you know what I mean, that even that world is going to change, you know what I
Hmm.
mean. And now I live in California. It's been 3 years. My last license was in Kansas City. I don't know if I would need to retake a test, dear Lord. If I do, I don't know what I need to study, what I need to go back to school, you know what I mean, like who's paying for that. It's just been so many things that I'm going. So I've totally thought about quitting for sure. But I go, I believe that Monique, I believe she's going to be here for some time. I personally don't want to be doing drag the way I'm doing it at 40, and I'm 34 now. So I got 6 years to get these money bag, money bag, money bag, money bag, money bag, money bag, money bags. But I know that as far as this creative outlet is still going to happen. Like I want my own reality competition show. I want my own reality shows. I want my own talk show. I want businesses. I want my own grocery stores. I want businesses that help homeless people get up off the street. I want, you know, single mothers to really, you know, I want black communities that I want to build that can really like establish people. You know, we're going to teach you, not only give you a place to live, but we're going to teach you how money works, how to save it, how to invest it, how to really set your, you know, I want my people to win, and I want to win. And so,
There you have it. Well, people want that talk in the comments are like, we want that talk show too, Mo. They want that talk show
yeah,
too.
here you go. I have this idea. I was pondering this, and then I tried to do it, and then it didn't work out because I was looking too low. So I figured out a way to clone myself, Jason. I figured it out. So this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'll have Monique interview Kevin. in the same without the split screen, so it'll be like daytime television. So we're working on that, but I forget to look in the right spot while I'm talking to nothing. You know,
That
it's really
right. Well,
hard.
that is a a skill you need to master if you're going to have that kind of content on
Right.
daytime television. But you want a lot of great and wonderful things, and I feel like you absolutely can have those things. Does Monique Heart want to be in love? Does Monique Heart want a family?
She said, "Why do you do that?
I'm a
Like,
journalist. I have to ask these questions.
why?"
Come on, listen. You knew who you were talking to today.
Yes, I felt like the cute little Asian girls when they go. Um, yes, I totally want to be in love. I totally want to have that significant other. I know, honey, I'm a piece of work though, okay? I am very, very strong-willed, very, very stubborn, very tender, very blunt. And I've also been single for a while. And I read a quote and it said, when people have been single and have had peace, it's really hard for them to change that.
Yep.
And I know how to let people in my space for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay. You need to go. Like I can't because I don't know, but I do long for a significant other. If you know any beautiful chocolate men's that it's like 6'5". I want like a Goliath type of joke. I want a tall one with some muscles
Oh my God.
and some good money management, a few degrees, with
Basically,
some with some Tim's on now,
I'm
okay,
s-
with some Tim's on now,
you sound
okay.
like a very complicated Chipotle order right now.
Girl, I'm very complicated. Okay, I want it to be vegan, but then I also want the meat at the same time.
Hey, let's take a question real quick. Let's see what people are
Let's
asking in the
take one.
questions. All right. So, Cameron says this. I have a question for you. How do you feel about making a positive impact in today's youth?
I love it. I really, really love it. Real quick, I would say this. The drag queens have always been the pillars of the community, correct? And I feel like, the drag queens were the ones that when HIV came in the community and started to sift through, the drag queens were some of the loudest ones saying, hey, honey, let's come get tested. Let's come back to the community. Let's be family. So I feel the fact that I get to step into that legacy. I feel like it's when drag queens become drag queens, they have to recognize they're stepping into a legacy that they have to uphold. It's not just beauty and makeup and I'm expressing myself, but you are doing it for the generation under you. So I count it a privilege and something that I really cherish, which is also why I try to stay off social media and not try to stay in drama because I want to be an example.
Yeah. Social media, the gift and the curse. I love that answer. Yes, ask questions, you guys. But question I have for you, and I've always wondered this about queens that come back to Drag Race from season 10 back to Allstars, where the stakes are even higher. I feel like Allstars is like Survivor, drag Survivor. The flagship drag race is like the warm up, but All Stars is
Yeah.
like where it's like, okay, the shit is real now. And then again, on Secret Celebrity Drag Race, you've had three awesome times and turns on the show. Are there any regrets though? Do you have any regrets and things that you wish you would have done differently? Because you've had, I mean, and I don't say like you've had three chances, but you've been celebrated three times.
Yeah, the one thing I think I would have done differently is I wish I would have recognized that I was playing a game.
Hmm.
And like you had to play a game, like I was playing the game, but then there was a game, and the game was television,
Yeah.
and the reality is that they have to say things and do things because it is a show, and I took a lot of things very personal. Um, and some of the things I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, what? Sis, she's reaching your honor. She's reaching your honor. But some of the things and how I think I took them, drag is so personal.
Yeah.
So when someone critiques it, you're coming for me. You know what I mean? And it's so like I'm trying to show me. I'm trying to show my art. Why aren't you seeing me? And it didn't. Okay, is that too loud?
It's cool. They're doing construction down below as well. We have cranes and
Okay.
jackhammers and
Okay.
raccoons.
I would say that it was it took me coming home to really recognize that it took me coming home to really recognize like Kevin, they didn't really meet Monique season 10. They met Monique season of Allstars. You
Yeah.
know, they met Kevin. Kevin narrated that show on season 10. It was, you saw Kevin's face constantly in the confessionals, and I was just like, but why aren't you seeing me now? And I was like, you know, you see Manila, me and Manila have similar styles, and like, you praise her, you rag on me. I'm like, I don't get it, you know,
Hmm.
and just really recognizing, like, sometimes it just takes people a while to kind of understand your vision and your art, and to not take that personal, to not be bitter by that, and just to go. So I think if I would have just not taken things as personal, I really think
You would have
I
won.
probably would have. I probably would have won, girl, had I not laid out Rupaul at that last All Stars panel, girl. I came for her throat. I was so pissed. But anyway, I was so pissed, girl. They gave me a lovely edit, bitch. They gave me a lovely edit, girl, because I came for her throat. I was pissed.
But but when you're an artist and you are so giving of your art, it's a labor of love, and it comes from a very personal and very vulnerable space. Any creative will tell you that, you know, and so it's really hard to turn that off. Also, you're being thrust, regardless of if you were on season 10 and you know the game, you're coming back to a different game with All Stars, and it's, you said PTSD earlier, and I know I don't want to make light of PTSD because it's a very real mental experience for people, but there is some sort of
There's a little trauma.
absolutely. I mean, for sure. So for you to come back to that and still and have, and where the stakes are higher, I mean, now you're going to be cemented in drag race history.
Hmm.
You want to make sure you turn it out, and you did. You absolutely did in both seasons, if you ask me my own honest opinion. But there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be seen for your art because you put so much
Hmm.
work and love and time and so much of your life
Very
into.
true.
Yeah, let's
You know, go ahead. Yeah.
let's take one more question because there's 10 now in the question. Um, what was the best advice you've ever been given? And that was
Best advice I was ever given. Okay, two things. I'm gonna say my mother always told me. She said, "Know that the Lord loves you." Because, you know, my mother was a little hard on me. She was like the mother from the Ray Charles movie. Know that the Lord loves you. Know that He's always with you, and know that I love you. And do what you got to do, but do right. That, and I would say in drag, my friend told me, instead of jerking off, paint your face. And I will
well,
say that it. Oh, you know, RuPaul said both.
yeah.
But I will say, honey, the payoff has been lovely. Um,
I
and
mean,
just the
there's not much to do in quarantine, so you have enough time to really do both extensively, learn new
girl,
tricks.
you know, the gag is that you're like, in quarantine. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, I just get me out of this house. I don't want to see these walls. No, I don't want to see makeup. I don't want to see nothing, girl. I just want to see. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, but yeah, those have been my two biggest advice.
I love it. I love it. What's next after we get back from quarantine? When we emerge from quarantine, get back from quarantine like it's a destination. After we emerge from quarantine, we know you have House of Heart, but beyond Monique Heart. What's the empire look like?
I am meeting with a publishing company to work on a book. So I will be a published author. Oh my
And what kind
gosh.
of book? What kind of book?
It's gonna be just a biography of an autobiography of my life with some photos. Just a small autobiography. It's kind of weird because I was talking to them and I was like, how vulnerable do I need to get?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? As the only child, I'm just so used to always guarding and protecting myself, and so what I learned, even going on television, is you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So I want to open up and talk about my stories and my experiences, but key things that I think will help people not only learn who I am, but also I think take these tools and learn how to love and honor themselves, which has been my biggest journey. And so that. What else? I have more music coming out. Um, I have Hot Sauce and High Heels. They just came out. Jerry Mitchell, the choreographer for Kinky Boots and Hairspray saw it. So you know, it's being seen by the right people. I sent it to Rihanna. She loves it.
Good.
Very, very that. So we have more music. I think my next project, truthfully, will be more of a worship kind of devotional type
Mhm.
of. I feel like in times when my heart is sad, I feel like I hear these melodies and songs where the Father is singing over me, much like the song Judah's Prayer and Unnoticed from my EP, Beloved SOS 6-3. So just more of a devotional, but not like just soft, you know,
Sure.
songs. They'll be very, very upbeat, a wide variety. I'm working on a few concepts with the DJ Joellapus. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Yes. So that, and then I really truthfully just need to get some coins together because I just want to produce my own reality show. Like, I know what to do. I'm tired of people talking about, like, no shade. RuPaul put, you know, trans people in his show. You know what? I'm going to put a show. And the thing, I have a few ideas on what I want to do, but I just want to make it all inclusive. I want to make it for creatives, people that have talent and want to share their gifting. So that's what I want. Like I said, ownership. And that's what I want to do. So yeah.
That's incredible. That is on. Your fans, myself included, are here for all of those yummy and delicious, juicy
Thank you.
nuggets. I have a friend named Scott Holland who's a huge fan. Can you give him a shout out?
Scott! Quick question. Are you
Yes.
brown cow? Scott!
Stunning. Mo, it has been so wonderful to catch up with you and talk to you. Like I said, you're one of my favorite queens. Such a good person. Beyond being great television, and super excited for everything that is going to be amazing for you.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate you, Jason, so much, and I love you. And hopefully they call me back for something. One of my fans was like, why aren't you on Allstars 5? I said, because I was just there on 4, but hopefully they call me back for 6. Girl, I just want to go back and make good television again. But I love you all.
And we're here for it. You stay safe, and I'll see you soon.